I love pouring these sugars into my water and into my smoothies because it's going to mean that I'm going to be the fastest, fittest cyclist I can possibly be. When I pour the whitest of white, the refinedest of refined table sugar into my water and into my smoothies, I'm going to be able to push my maximum watts and perform at my best. But there's so many different kinds of sugar out there. Which is the best sugar for performance? Is it dark brown sugar? Is it icing sugar? Is it demerara? Is it dark muscovado? Is it molasses? It's so confusing which one is the best. Well, I'm going to take away all the confusion and let you know that any of the granulated sugars, the table sugars, the refined, the unrefined sugars, they're all pretty much going to be sucrose. And sucrose in your body breaks down 50% fructose, 50% glucose. It's all going to get turned into glycogen into your muscles and pushed out as watts. And it's all going to help you perform at your best. So the alternative to table sugar is actually maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is a derivative of starch, and it gets used by sports nutrition brands. That's what they use as their energy, as an alternative to sucrose in their gels and their sports drinks, because one, it's just so easy to produce in bulk and it's cheap, and two, it doesn't taste as sweet as sugar, so they can flavour it with whatever flavour is marketable. It's also straight up glucose, which is the thing that's going to get absorbed as quickly as anything possibly could into your muscles as glycogen and pushed out as watts, which is great. But the reason why I recommend, why I prefer sucrose over maltodextrin is because one, it's just so readily available. It's probably the most readily available fuel source you can possibly find, sugar and water, and it's also the body's preferred energy fuel source. And then two, it's also because of the dual fuel capability, the fructose and the glucose. The glucose getting absorbed as quickly as anything possibly could, turned into glycogen and pushed out as watts. And then also the fructose getting absorbed a little bit slower than the glucose, getting processed by your liver, and it's probably towards the back end of a 2-hour ride, it's going to be the thing that's going to get you home and prevent you from bonking. So if all these sugars do exactly the same job, they're all the same, they're all sucrose, the difference is taste. It all comes down to a personal taste. And personal taste is important because you want to be drinking from that bottle, from that sugar water, the entire ride. You don't want to have something that you hate the taste of. Find one that tastes good to you, because that's what's going to be important. That's the thing that's going to mean that you're going to keep drinking from that sugar water throughout the ride. 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours into a ride, you're still not going to be sick of that flavour because you love it so much. Don't get sick of that flavour. Icing sugar especially is disgusting from the first sip. So let's rule icing sugar out of our elite sports nutrition. Dark muscovado, demerara and molasses, they're all, to me, they all taste pretty much the same. I get a bit sick of the caramel taste. It sort of stays on your tongue and I don't like it. I don't like it, but that's again just personal preference, and it's something that I've learned from experimentation while out on a 6-hour ride, and I learned that I didn't like the taste of it. So for me, the winner is just straight up whitest of white, refinedest of refined, table sugar, castor sugar, granulated sugar, white sugar, for me, is the winner. And that's what we're going to use today. Let's get down to our recipe. So we take our bottle. We're going to try to pour. We're failing at the moment because it's getting caught in the wind. We're going to try to pour 4 or 5 tablespoons into this, like just under a litre bottle of water. And the other big thing is that, as well as taste, you want to get the right taste of sugar. You don't want to pour too much sugar into a single bottle at a time. You know, you're going to have all this sugar on board, but no way of absorbing it. This is the reason why sports nutrition brands come out with isotonic gels and drinks, because isotonic is basically the same osmotic pressure as your body, so it means that it doesn't take any water for the energy in those gels and those drinks to be absorbed into your body, so you're not getting dehydrated as you take on that energy, and that's exactly what you want to be doing when you create this recipe. So I've got around 4 or 5 tablespoons of plain white refined table sugar in here, and then the rest of it should be water. More sugar doesn't necessarily mean more energy, more power, because for every single grain of sugar that you've got in here, you want to make sure that there's some water to be able to absorb it, because otherwise that sugar is just going to dehydrate you exponentially fast. You know, you might as well not have the sugar in here because you're going to get dehydrated way quicker with it. So make sure you're mindful of how much water you've got. This is the recipe. You want 4 or 5 tablespoons in around a litre or just under a litre bottle of water. So here, let's pour. Leave a little bit of room so that when we shake it, all the sugar is going to get absorbed into the water. I need to wear the elite sports nutrition sunglasses. This is as elite as sports nutrition needs to get. You don't need anything else other than the right amount of sugar to water, and enough of it on your ride so that you can go as hard and as long as you need to, as you want to, so that you and I can become the fittest, fastest cyclists we can possibly be. So I'm going to head out on a ride right now. You look a bit undercarbed, so I will see you in the next one.